ask, why would you want, if you were abused, why would you want to continue the association? Oprah, that's the question I posed. All right, so 312-714, welcome to the show. State your name, and then, you're welcome to ask a question.
Hey, this is Marlon. How are you, ladies?
Hi.
Fine.
Hello, Marlon.
Hey, Pearl, it's Marlon. You and I talk on your page every day. How are you?
Marlon Nunn, how are you?
That is correct. I am doing fantastic. Pearl, I agree with everything that you're saying about Oprah's daddy. But before I get into that, let me put this in perspective. My partners and I, we do a lot of investigative work. We work with the detectives, everything like this here. Harvey Weinstein works with some very powerful people, and they put out a lot of false information about Michael Jackson in order to take the heat off him.
Yeah.
Okay? That is documented. That's a proven fact.
Yes.
Years ago, when Michael had Thriller out, they tried to pay Emmanuel Lewis and his family to say that Michael abused him.
Right.
Emmanuel Lewis refused to do it. There was a gentleman here in Chicago. He was on the radio station with Ed Radoliak. They used to host a radio show together. Ed Radoliak is probably one of the most disgusting human beings that you could ever meet. But, I'm not going to even get into all that. Ty Wansley, who is black, who is no longer with us, said that he was sitting in the back row and his cousin that used to be with the Fifth Dimension was sitting beside him, and they saw Michael Jackson fondle Emmanuel Lewis on the American Music Awards. I'm like, are you kidding me? This brother is on worldwide television fondling.
And they did nothing. And they did nothing about it.
Yeah. I got word back to Emmanuel Lewis, and I think they threatened to sue Ty Wansley because he used to work in Los Angeles, and I don't know why he came back to Chicago, but they ran him out of Los Angeles. I'm going to tell you something now. Michael is a smart businessman. He pretended to be childlike, and why? Because that's how you sell 50 million to 100 million copies when you produce an album. You sell to kids, teenagers, adults.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ain't no way
white, black. That's right.
Yeah. There's no way in the world that anybody would be childlike, and this man is running a corporation. He's running a corporation.
Well, he was childlike. He was childlike, but he knew what he wanted. He was very motivated as a child. He was very motivated as a kid. You got to remember, Marlon, Jackie, and Jermaine had a group, right? The singing group. Michael was many years younger. Michael, they was like, no, you can't be in the group, Michael. You too little. Michael was like, well, watch this then. Okay, at 5 years old, he sang at the talent show. He sang it so good, practiced, knew every word, every note, and then not only was he admitted into his brother's singing group, he became the lead singer. So even though Michael was a child, he still had goals. And even though he was childlike, he still had goals. So those two are not mutually exclusive. But you did. People lie. People will lie. And if somebody did see Michael doing that, what you do about it? Nothing. You just turned away. You see, stop. Stop. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Wade said also that he was molested just about every time, going from 90 all the way to 97, I think. So that means that when he met with Michael in 96, he was molested every time they met. I put a video on your page. Hold on a second. I put a video on your page, Pearl, that shows that Wade is here in the United States back in 1996 at Tower Records buying Michael's History CD. Michael was over in Bucharest.
Without Wade.
Exactly.
And then And then they want to talk about all this. When they came out here, Michael sponsored their visa, and they came out here after Joy begged Michael to do that. They expected Michael to pay all their bills. Michael put him up in a Oakwood, and they thought Michael was going to pay for the Oakwood apartments. Michael was like, They ended up having to pay it. They thought Michael was going to rent them a car. And rent your own car. And then Michael started hiring Wade for professional gigs, to be in the black and white video, to help him with the promotion of LA Gear. You know what I mean? It was a working relationship. At the end of Michael's concerts, a whole bunch of kids would get on the stage and would dance. You see, not just Wade and not just James. So they're mixing up regular work, and they're minimizing the work that Michael had them do in Michael's commission of doing his work. And they wanted to make it seem like it was such a sexual relationship. And wait, we can't forget this one. I got to say this one. I don't think I brought it. Michael dated Wade dated two of Michael's nieces. Two of them. One of them Michael set up at the age of 12. Wade had liked Brandy when he was 10 years old, but they were too little to date. So by the time they got 12, Michael hooked them up, and when Wade was in town or Wade was over, so was Brandy. And they were together from age 12 to age 19 when Wade started cheating on her with Britney Spears. Now, wait a minute. They want to talk about the sex, the love, and the grooming and first sexual experience and all this homosexual stuff. None of the kids grew up around Michael gay. And if you can be gay anywhere, it's in Hollywood, and it's as a dancer, okay? So that it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense, because if somebody grooms you and treats and teaches your body to get excited with male-on-male companionship, that's what your body naturally, and we're not talking about a little molestation here or one there or two or three. We're talking about them saying hundreds of times. So that's some conditioning for your butt. So why are not only Wade and James not gay, but none of the other boys are either? Macaulay's not, Emmanuel Lewis is not, Brett Barnes is not, the Francias aren't. So where is this homosexual grooming coming from? Because you would think that if Michael was doing all homosexuality, that all of them would be gay.
And Pearl, here's the situation. This is not about child molestation. This is about trying to get Michael's assets. Michael did music.
But he already sold the Sony. Wait, I got to stop. Michael already sold half of the Sony catalog. That's already sold.
Right.
Okay, that was sold in 1996. So, and then the EMI was sold within a year after that. The only thing Michael owns right now is his My Jack catalog, which there are some other artists in his My Jack catalog, but he owns the My Jack catalog. Okay,
yeah,
I think it is about homosexuality, and I think it is about promoting man-boy sex as being normal, because they made it a love story.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth. Did you know that they're trying to pass a law now? It's called NAMBLA, and I think you just mentioned NAMBLA. What it means.
Yeah.
They're trying to legalize where grown men now can have sex with 14-year-old girls or 14-year-old boys. Now,
that's right.
David Geffen,
NAMBLA is man-boy. NAMBLA is man-boy, okay? Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they're still trying to put that law on the books.
Yeah, they are.
And now let's get to David Geffen. Do you know that years and years ago, David Geffen tried to make it past in Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson cussed his butt out and called him every derogatory name in the book?
It could be true. David was bold like that. Right, Michael was not a homosexual. He even said, I'm not a homosexual, I'm not gay, I'm a black American. Michael said, I don't do kids, okay? Those are Michael's words, but those words weren't in this Leaving Neverland.
And what they don't tell you is that there are telephone records going back to show you that June Chandler called Michael more than he called her. And, Pearl, you're right. In order for a man to get next to a woman, you got to kind of, hey, bring your kids on over. Let's sit down and talk about it. He was trying to get next to June. And that's
yes, he was. That is absolutely the truth. That came out in the 2005 trial that Michael was trying to get next to June. But Michael calls a lot. Michael is a telephone person. Michael loves the telephone, okay? So I believe that Michael probably called her a lot too, because once Michael was on your radar and he liked you and you were a part of his world, he'd call you every day. He'd call you every day. Okay. All right. So, wow, Marlon, thank you so much. You're wonderful. I'm glad to finally hear your voice.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlon. Hang tight because I might have a second for you to give us your final words. 858-322, 858-322. Your mic is live.
Yes, how you doing? This is Ali calling down. I'm down here in San Diego right now. Just checking in, listening. Yeah, I just want to say, I appreciate anything that anybody's doing to support and protect Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? I really appreciate anybody that's trying to stand up for him. Also, I wanted to ask you, we know somebody that also is similar to you, but they wrote, movies and scripts about Michael Jackson. And I wanted to ask you, do you think Michael Jackson is alive?
I know Michael Jackson is alive, and I know that Michael Jackson faked his death because he was sick of dealing with BS like this. I have been searching for nearly 10 years looking for proof that Michael Jackson is dead, and there is none. But there's plenty of proof that he's alive, and that's why I produced 3 documentaries called the Alive Trilogy of Michael Jackson documentaries. And the first one was Alive, Is Michael Jackson Really Dead? That one aired on Netflix from 2011 to 2013. And independently, only because I have a hard time trusting distributors nowadays, I released, and I got contracts that I did not sign, but I released Alive 2 and Alive 3 myself, and Alive 2 goes through the Murray trial. It goes through everything that should prove that Michael is dead that doesn't. It goes through why the cause of death had to be propofol intoxication, and it proves that it gives you valid, common sense evidence that it was a body double. And then in Alive 3, and the photoshops of the death photos, oh, it's so good. It's so smart. And I recommend people to watch it. And then Alive 3 is Who is Michael Today, right? And so I have my friend Peter Michael Bobby, who I show you plenty of evidence that he is Michael Jackson using aliases, masks, disguises, decoys, but for whatever reason, he chose me because I have a media license to pretty much do all the fun things with, because I kept crying to prove to me who you are, and you will find some wonderful things that he's done with me, his family, several family members, and me and his estate. And you'll find out a lot of stuff, and so you can judge for yourself if you believe that is Michael. I'm already 150% convinced that it is, but it's up to everybody else to take the information and make their own conclusions. Oh, and I also did a movie called Prisoner of Fame, which I haven't released yet. I've only released the trailer, but it shows how Michael switched out the body, So it's really good. So I can't wait to release that for you guys. But I decided to let this kind of, mull over before I do anything anymore with Prisoner of Fame. And thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Did one more thing, and I'll let you go. One more thing. Did we ever get that information to you about the ambulance that had taken off that day of work?
No, never. No, I never got that information. But
Janet Janet was going to get that information. So you was on the Michael Gay show about a week ago, right?
Right. Yeah. So they never got it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, they never got it to me, and I never served a Freedom of Information Act because I'm not sure if it's that important. Then I got sidetracked. I got sidetracked with the Leaving Neverland.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, they still messing with Mike, but I appreciate you, ma'am. I really do. If I could see you, I'll give you a hug. I won't say cyber. I'm going to say spiritual. I won't say cyber because I want to make sure I hug you. But I talked to you several times before, and I'm on your team. And, hey, God, the Most High stay with you, be with you, and you continue to fight for Mike, and that's what we need, fighters for Mike instead of all these people that's trying to exploit to get paid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that. We got time for one more question, and then, like I said, I would like for you and Marlon to give us some final thoughts because I think he's got some more updates, and I definitely want to get your contact information. 818-613-818613. You're live. Please state your name and give us your comment or question.
Hi, this is Philo the Great calling out of Nashville, Tennessee. How are you doing, Valerie?
Hey, blessed and favored. Hey, Philo.
Hey, I got a question for Miss Pearl Jr.
Yes.
What do you got to say to Oprah Winfrey? Like this ain't we not regulated by the FCC, so let her have it. Well, what do you got to say? And talk directly to Oprah.
Oprah, I'm what I would really say to Oprah is I really appreciate everything that you've done. You have done a lot of good things with your life. You've paid for, people's college educations. You are somewhat of a therapist for people. You have brought light to a lot of things, but you are wrong when it comes down to Michael Jackson. And you really, before you continue to use him as a poster boy so that you can bring light to a topic that might be passionate to you, you probably should research to see if there's really any real proof where you can say that Michael is a molester. And if you can't find any proof, and I'm here to tell you, someone who's been looking for 14 years, there isn't any, okay? But if you can find some, then okay, I get it. But without you having any proof, you're using Michael. You're using him, and you're hurting him, and you're hurting his family. And you really should be responsible for what you do, and you should explain to people that you did not have the right to insinuate to millions of people that he was guilty. You don't have that right. You were irresponsible to do that. Perception is one thing, but just like we can perceive you to be an angry black woman, but once we get to know you, maybe you're not. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has a stereotype, but you got to really get to know a person, especially if you're going to go in front of millions of people and you're going to side the opposite of what Michael Jackson really is. And he was just someone who mentored kids, and he wanted to live his own little childhood, and he was like a kid like the rest of them, but he was also a smart businessman as well.
Right, not to mention the 100 abuse survivors in the audience that were strategically placed.
That was a low blow.
During the episode. Yeah, that was, yeah. Marlon, do you have anything? I know that you've been out there on the, out here on the battleground, so to speak, for quite some time, and the two of you have had your banter. Do you have anything you'd like to say to Oprah?
I would like to say to Oprah, open up your eyes, pay attention. This Jordy Chandler was not. They tried to make him to be the first, but they tried to do it with Emmanuel Lewis, and it didn't work. Open up your eyes and see what's going on. And who are you to talk about Michael settling the case when you went and paid? I don't know if you guys talked about this or not. She paid out almost $100,000 to settle
no,
the case?
No, it's 50. Yeah, I did bring it up. Yes, I did. 50,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's rumored that her daddy is involved in a pedophile ring. Look, Corey Feldman and others told Michael Jackson who abused him, how they were abused. Michael knew a lot of stuff. He was about to bring a lot of people down. And when they found that out, all of a sudden now Santa Barbara goes and raids his house. You do know that District Tom, the late Tom Stetton, he was covering up for a lot of child molesters in Santa Barbara. That's documented. Mm-hmm. So what is really going on here. See, I can't believe that they're going to try to frame Michael and do this and that because this man knows how to sing and dance. It's something else to this. Michael owns more than just that catalog. I keep telling people this. They are using kiddie porn so that they can probably get this in a court and find out his other assets that people don't know. I'm willing to bet you this is what all this is about.
Well, the estate does file, just to let you know. I don't know what's not filed, but there is, with the estate and probate, there is accounting that they've been filing every year. And it lists Michael's assets. It lists his assets. So it's public knowledge of what his assets are.
Pearl, I don't know how well you know the people on the on that estate. I wouldn't trust that estate is about as far as I can throw them. Now, I don't know how well they know John McClain, because I know John McClain is a black man. I don't know if he's the decision maker or not. But
he's 50-50 with John Bronca. 50-50. But I don't even want to go into that. That's a whole different. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. We were supposed to be on here an hour, and it's an hour and a half. So that I don't even want to open that can of worms.
I will say they hijacked that estate. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll save that for another show. I'll save that for another show.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pearl Jr., definitely give us your contact information. And again, this is your opportunity if you've got any final words. Anything you want to say to Wade or to HBO or the 100 survivors or the people who are kind of on, they love Michael Jackson, but are not totally convinced that he is not the monster that that people say he is. So, could you do so at this time?
Well, I put my money where my mouth is, and I have paid for all my products to be made. So if you want to know what happened in the 2005 trial, I have a documentary called Michael Jackson, The Trial and Triumph of the King of Pop. That's available on Vimeo.com. But you can go to my website, michaeljacksoninsider.com, and it should link you to all my documentaries, to the Alive trilogy, Alive 1, 2, and 3. It'll link you. I also wrote a book called Pseudocide, Did Michael Jackson Fake His Death to Save His Life? And also you can see the trailer to my short film called Prisoner of Fame, because Michael really was a prisoner of his own fame. So please look me up at michaeljacksoninsider.com.
Yeah, and then
my final words. You asked for final words. Well, what I would say to Wade and Jimmy, just stop, okay? Wade is so into this, and he's pulling Jimmy along, and Jimmy is just kind of there for the ride, and he's emotionally unstable. I just feel like Wade, it's gone far enough. And are you going to be able to live with yourself, 6 months from now? Because they still got 2 court dates this year for appeals, and I don't see how they're going to win any money, especially after this was their bomb pass, their Ollie Oxenfree pass, where they decided that they were going to make the most salacious documentary and make Michael look as guilty as they possibly could. In order to leverage that for the estate to settle. And the estate is not going for it, because a bully never stops bullying when you give in to him. So, Wade, please stop. Oprah, owe it to yourself. Have your private investigators, hire some people to really look into the Michael Jackson situation and know from facts if Michael Jackson is guilty or not. And if you don't find anywhere where he's guilty, it's not that you didn't look everywhere. It's because he's not. Okay, and those are my final words.
Right, and it just